man. 122 pounder, 10-5, man. Watch the Good Fellas Sports TV, bro.
You guys from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Watch
Good Fellas Sports.
Good Fellas, bro.
All right, man. Is it time for Keith Thurman to hang it up? I think he should have hung it up. When he started wanting to fight, when he went overseas with all these injuries and he didn't want to compete no more. When you stop wanting to compete, when you stop wanting to do your job, pursue goals in your career, it's time to go. He took a break, and the only reason he was hungry was because a Pacquiao fight was on the table. What if the Pacquiao fight never came across his table? Keith Thurman probably would have never came back to the sport. You know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman probably would have never came back to the sport if a Pacquiao fight wasn't on the table. Think of all the fights he passed up. He wasn't that injured where he couldn't, after beating Danny Garcia, go into an Errol Spence fight. He only came back to fight Manny Pacquiao. And then he was like, yeah, I want a rematch. He was willing to come right back and rematch Manny Pacquiao, which Pacquiao didn't owe him a rematch because he didn't do enough to beat Pacquiao. So why would Pacquiao rematch you? Y'all didn't break no records. So he was willing to come back. I fight Pacquiao in a rematch, And I think the next fight he came back after that, was it Barrios? I think it might have been Barrios was his next fight after that. He didn't have a fight after that. You know how long that was? Excuse me if he had a fight before the Barrios fight. Don't forget they offered him a fight during the pandemic. He turned it down and said he wanted to fight with the fans. See, once you start wanting to, you lose the itch to fight, it's time to hang it up. He admitted that his belly was full. You know what I'm saying? He had fans pulling up on him talking about you ducking Errol Spence Jr. He the one throwing shots at Earl and Terrence but didn't want to fight him. That's probably why he really pulled out the Tim Tszyu fight. The money was funny. The gate money was going to be funny. It wasn't going to slang no pay-per-views. You wasn't getting no title. And if you won, you was going to have to fight Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. And he wasn't trying to hear that. He wasn't trying to participate in none of that. It's time for Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman should have retired years ago. At the bare minimum, after the Pacquiao fight. Because he only chose to come back to fight Pacquiao. Had Pacquiao not been on the table, we probably would have never seen Keith Thurman again. And that's fine. That's very, very fine. He had all the momentum when he unified belts, and then he stopped wanting to fight. And what was criminal was they allowed him to hold that division up from Errol Spence. Had they not allowed him to hold that division up, Errol Spence probably would have been undisputed and got the hell up out of there. And we probably been talking about fighting Terrence Crawford at 54. See how they did him? Cooked his ass. Cooked him. Cooked his ass. So yeah, we talking about should he retire now? That's beyond the topic. He should have retired after he fought Pacquiao minimum. When you just in it for the money at this point and you take a punishment for a living, and y'all just think about the punishment you take in the fight. What about the punishment in sparring, the punishment running, the punishment lifting, the punishment doing the calisthenics? You know what I'm saying? All the punishments you take in camp. He been lost the will to fight. He been lost the fire for desire. His fire to whatever. You know what I'm saying? He been lost that. That shit been gone long ago, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. So yeah, it's time to hang it up. He always injured. And I said this fight wasn't going to take place. I said it. I called it. I said, yo, this fight ain't even going to happen. I said it. I said, yo, this fight ain't going to happen. Keith Thurman wasn't getting none out of it. He just looking to get paid. He just looking to get paid. And this fight wasn't going to do that. They said they had just sold 1,200 tickets until yesterday. Pay-per-view, well, nobody gonna buy. So wasn't no back end. Wasn't no real back end money in the fight. They didn't do a press conference. They doing virtual press conferences on Instagram. They ain't promoting the fight on Amazon Prime or nothing. Or nothing. Or nothing. So, to me, it ain't even about the injuries. When you no longer want to compete against the best, it's time to get out the way. Dog got it. Ain't nothing wrong with that nigga, man. He knew he was about to get. He knew camp probably wasn't going well. He knew he was about to get pummeled. One of the most inactive fighters going against one of the more active fighters in boxing. And Tim Tszyu, he knew what was about to happen to him. He knew it was going to be over. He said something in the press conference, Sean Porter. He said, well, regardless of what happened to this fight, you know, I want to try something new in training camp after this fight. Man, he didn't even think he was going to win this fight. Real spill, he didn't even think he was going to win this fight. So yeah, it's time to hang it up. Yeah, it's time to put it up in the rafters and shit like that. It's over with. He could have been one of the great welterweights of all time. Could have been. You know? We had nothing to gain from that Tim Tszyu fight. It was nothing stopping him from pulling out. Obviously, he took care of his money, because if you turn it down fights and you can be inactive for years at a time, money ain't the problem. You know? Like, his whole existence was fighting Pacquiao and Mayweather. He got the Pacquiao fight. He needs to do shit else. When fans start pulling up on you, you know what I'm saying, you running from this guy and all that guy, and you know what I'm saying, you know it's bad. You know, his body constantly breaking down. Just go ahead, put the commentator headset on, get the commentating microphone, and just do that. You much better on the mic than you are in the ring anyway. You know, Clarissa Shields don't want to fight you no more. You ain't gonna make it through the camp to fight her. Clarissa might punch him on his wrist and beat his ass, and his wrist might shatter. Now we gotta hear about that shit for years on the time. But yeah, he lost the fire to compete long ago. Long ago, he lost the fire to compete. You know, and part of that, can you blame Al Heyman? Absolutely. Reportedly paid that man $3.5 million to fight Leonard Bundu because Paulie didn't want to fight him, and Mayweather, he was Mayweather's mandatory being a regular champion, didn't want to fight him. So yeah, so he was overpaying him, and obviously Keith took care of his money, but the game don't miss Keith. The game don't miss Keith. You gotta wonder how they did the Danny Garcia fight. You know, Danny Garcia probably would have went through with it. But Danny basically said that one of the reasons that he didn't get the fight is because it wasn't no title on the line. He said it was no title on the line. So he said he knew it wasn't on the line, I ain't want it. That's basically what he said. So Keith said, I'd take it, I could beat him, and I had never heard of you before the fight, and I watched some film. He said that shit. He did all that talking and I won't be in the ring. And I said when they made this fight, and I said, I just seen how the setup was and how they was talking, I said these jokers ain't gonna make it to the ring. Amazon Prime not promoting it, PBC not promoting or marketing it. Nobody seemed like they got their hand in the game on this one. You know, nobody got no shake in the game on this one. So yeah, it's time for Keith to walk away, man. When you stop wanting to compete and do the best, you stop wanting to compete and be a part of events, you turning down fights, you only want to come out for big money, it's time to walk away, bro. I mean, him and that Barrios pay-per-view, they say they did like 30,000 pay-per-view buys. Keith Thurman, your name got to stay in circulation for you to be a star. And at the pinnacle of your name, after you beat Danny Garcia, you disappeared like you was the Avatar. When you supposed to go ahead and fight, you probably would have beat Earl Spencer at that time. How much money you be swimming in for real? And no, Keith Thurman ain't no Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Shamer. The Keith Thurman name better not even be up for a vote for a Hall of Fame. He shouldn't be in the PBC Hall of Fame, the Vegas Hall of Fame, the Florida Hall of Fame, the Louisiana Get Back Boot Hall of Fame. He shouldn't be in no Hall of Fame. So before we start that, Keith Thurman shouldn't be in no Hall of Fame. Miss me with that dumb shit. Miss me. He shouldn't be in no Hall of Fame. I don't even want to hear it. That man been in it for the last 5 to 7 years for a check. After calling out Paulie, calling out Mayweather, talking all this shit to get guys. Broner, if I knocked on the door, he wouldn't answer. After talking all this shit to get these dudes in the ring, he become the guy and then do the same thing those guys did to him. Come on, man. It don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. So, no, he ain't no Hall of Famer. You know, he should be 10, 20 years from now, 30 years now, 20, 30, he should be forgotten fighter series. Oh, how good was Keith Thurman? What happened to Keith Thurman? Just go ahead and hang him up, bro. Go ahead and hang him up. You know, but hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance. Get notifications with our live or drop video. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Kid, Twitch, the whole nine. Hit the link tree. You can find me everywhere. Appreciate the love, support, peace.